Hey guys, hope you're doing well. If you've been sat on the fence for some time about the prospect of getting on board with an EV, now could be a really good time to do this. As I'm making this video, there are currently 96 Taycans for sale, Taycans, tin cans, however you want to pronounce it, for sale on Auto Trader. 96. Okay, there are a lot more than that for sale on Auto Trader, but there are 96 for sale at £45,000 or under, which I think is pretty significant. And you could buy, for example, a new VW ID.5 for 40k plus. It's a VW ID.5. Or you could get hold of a Porsche Taycan for just 45k or under, and one with a pretty good spec. That's got to be something to consider, right? Just in terms of the amount of car for the money. And of course, it is still a Porsche. They look great, they drive great, and it could be a really good opportunity to get on board with one. Now, I absolutely am focusing right now on used Taycans, and there is a significant amount of choice out there. It has never been better if you're a used buyer. And I know there are plenty of folk deciding to take the plunge on a used Taycan because the numbers are just so tempting and really pulling people in to give a Taycan a try. It could be their first EV, and especially if you're one of those combustion stalwarts that really loves their combustion cars and have been thinking, I just don't know if I could get on board with an EV. A Taycan is a great way to do it because it's more Porsche, I think, than it is EV, if that kind of makes sense, versus something that is really just a purposeful EV like a Tesla or that VW ID.5. It has Porsche DNA in it. It drives fantastic. And if you are looking at Taycans right now, get out and test drive one if you haven't already, and I'm sure that will be enough to push a lot of folk over the edge. Now, of course, if you look at reliability of these things, all right, it's not the best, we've got to be frank, but as much as I've had a few issues with mine, there are plenty of folk out there who have had no issues with their Taycan whatsoever. And of course, as time moves on, recalls are done, service bulletins are fulfilled, they become more reliable, including those used ones. And of course, you've got that battery warranty as well. So just check the numbers on that and check the mileage as well, because that is an important thing to consider if you're looking at one of these cars. And there's no scientific proof here, but I do get the feeling that these cars tend to do better in warmer countries. I feel, looking at the forums, that they tend to be more reliable. They tend to have less issues than if they're really stressed in a very cold country or cold climate. That's when issues tend to arise and things tend to go wrong. I just don't think the batteries in these like getting very cold at all. So if you're in warmer climes and you're looking at a Taycan, it could be a really good buy for you. And they are absolutely enjoyable cars. They really are wonderful. The drive is sublime. So get that test drive booked in as soon as possible. There's a lot of choice out there. And another thing that I often hear is holding people back from getting one of these is, especially in the UK, the first thing you hear is, oh mate, well, the charging infrastructure is absolutely no good whatsoever, right? And I'll be stranded. Even in the duration of which I've owned this car for coming up to 2.5, 3 years, 3 years soon, the charging infrastructure has improved significantly to the point where I have an Ionity charging station a few miles drive from my house now, which is unheard of 5 years ago. It's absolutely on the up in terms of charging infrastructure. And the Ionity that's near me, it looks like it's a battery storage one, so you don't get quite as fast a rates, but Ionity is a Taycan's best friend for sure. So the infrastructure conversation is rapidly fading away, and of course most folk who have these have driveways, and will be charging them at home as well, which makes complete sense if you've got an EV. So just looking through the used cars that are available right now, there is so much choice. Now, the type of cars that are available for 45k and under, which I think is a steal, tend to be base models, rear-wheel drives, or 4Ss, which is a great car, which is still a really good car, and you will get the spec you want with that much choice. And I think a Taycan at that price level, how much more can it depreciate significantly? Of course it's going to depreciate, but we're talking a few £1,000s, I would imagine, not 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pounds as they do from new. I think once they've hit that level, it's going to be a much slower decline, albeit with the battery warranty expiration impending as well. So just keep a note of that. Maybe it's not something you want to be in if it's coming towards its end. And also I think we'll see more people stepping into the frame to offer those battery warranties going forward for these cars, right? I think a module to replace an individual module in this is about £3,000 worth of work, maybe more. That might just be for the module, but it's not cheap. So just ensure that you've done your research and you're confident in the Taycan that you're choosing. You're confident that it's been well looked after and well maintained. I would absolutely, without hesitation, get another one of these in my life at some point, for sure. Even with the issues that mine's had. Absolutely love the car, love the drive, love the comfort levels. Just brilliant in that respect. And I think the one for me, the one I've kind of got my eye on right now, is absolutely that Turbo GT. There is a specific spec out there which I absolutely adore. Saw one posted on the forums and it was the spec I was going to go for, but I'm glad I didn't. But I think as a used buy, it would be a really, really good Taycan to get on board with. So I'm definitely going to be watching the prices of those very closely, like a hawk, and they are definitely on the way down. Faster than I'm sure the owners would like, but not fast enough for me, that is for sure. But they absolutely are going to be a mind-blowingly good car. And if you do get one, best of luck, because it really is a fantastic time to give one of these awesome cars a go. Give it a stab. Lots of choice out there, and fingers crossed you won't be disappointed. In fact, fingers crossed, after having owned it for a few months, you'll be absolutely loving it and well and truly converted. That's it for this one. Do stay safe, stay well. See you on the next one, and bye for now.